importantly, first of all, the link, you might remember in the beginning I said, and I said this in the beginning of the book, that like finitude means primarily two things. It means that I will die, but also that I can't sustain my life on my own. So part of being mortal is being essentially dependent on others, which means that like, you know, whatever sense I have of myself is always socially dependent from the beginning. That's why a relation to the we is built into any self-understanding I have from the beginning. That it's not just like, it's a necessary feature. I mean, a finite mortal being in the sense is essentially social. So like, you know, whoever I'm trying to be as an individual, a professor, a citizen, a writer, etc., I can't even try to be anyone without like having some normative understanding of like what it means in our form of life to be that, you know, who we are such that there can be professors and citizens, etc. That's why the we is built in there from the beginning. So that's the sort of link between mortality and the we, individual mortality and essential sociality. But then, coming to the second part of your question, once we see that, we also have to recognize that even though the we doesn't die, and it's not mortal in the sense that an individual is mortal, it is essentially finite in the sense that like any self-understanding of who we are, for us to be able to commit to that, for us to be able to like, for me to care about not just like who I am, but who we are, I have to grasp that we could fail to be who we're trying to be, and we could fall apart, and we could cease to be, you know, a democratic community, or we could cease to be the Greeks, or we could cease to be socialists, all of these things. So like that dynamic of that, like to be committed to something, you both have to grasp, you both have to commit yourself to that it's good in itself, that like this is who we ought to be, but you also have to grasp that like we are not that, the we doesn't exist by itself, it only exists through us sustaining that practice, always against the background of the risk of failing to be who we ought to be. So that sense of animation, self-maintenance is going to take a different form on the level of the we, but it has the same logical structure of finitude.